Playing solo is arguably the hardest thing to do in Rust. It has become even harder because of this EXP system, which has made it so we cannot craft armor doors right off the bat or at any low level that a solo player could obtain in one day. A lot of us have been struggling to keep a base for ourselves because we keep on getting offline raided at night, or we just are outnumbered given that we are a solo player. Today, I have what I believe is the strongest base design in the EXP system thus far, because it'll take 8 C4 no matter which way they go through just to get your loot. Because of the EXP system, a lot of us can only make sheet metal doors. This is why this rock base design has a lot of triangles, so there's going to be a lot of doorways in between, so they cannot get through without breaking a ton of doors. And if they try to go through the walls, you can simply armor them because we have no need for these high quality metals right now, so we might as well use it to secure loot by adding it with this double layered wall technique I have here. It's also in a river, and I did it in a way that the double layer can be done easily without them having to go and waste like 2,000 wood to bring it all the way out here. As this simple trick, which I'll show you in my base design, but I'll show you right now as well. So this is the base foundation. You go two foundations out, destroy the middle one, and put a triangle. As you can see, this creates a gap like this, and I'll make it into stone so it's easier to see. As you can see, it makes a gap, which makes it a lot harder to go through the walls if they try to shortcut through instead of using the doorways. So now which way they go, it's going to cost them 8 C4. Let me just take you into the base, show you what it's all about. As you can see, I got an upper floor right here, so you can have a nice view of the river if you wanted to. So say you hear someone swimming across, you can just get your bolty out if you have that. I would probably say you won't have that, and you probably have like a crossbow. So if he had some stone on him or whatever, you can go kill him and then go outside and grab his loot. You also got a nice doorway right out here to see the left side of your base, and another one for your front door and right side. This one is very nice that it opens out, because if someone's waiting right here with a pipe, this door is going to open in his face and he's not going to be able to kill you. The only way he's going to be able to kill you if he's standing above the door like this and he pops onto there. But most players won't be able to do that, and you'll probably see his feet and you can close the door and he's just going to fall. Like that. So going back down to the main floor, there's only really one floor. We are greeted with a drop-off box. All these boxes are drop-off boxes. And then we have the triangle heaven of doors. So many doors. This is because it's a lot easier for them to raid through doors, so we're using triangles and we're going through it like this. As you can see, there's a gap right here, which means if they do want to go through the door, say at the very beginning, they start at this door and they're like, I'm fed up, I'm gonna just go through the wall, right? This one's armored, and then there's another one right behind it that is also armored. It'll take 3 C4 per wall, so that's 6, and it'll take them at least 2 doors to get in, which is another 2 C4, or I think it's 70 explosive ammo, which is still not worth it for whatever loot you have in here, in my opinion at least. They might think so. Say you stole some rockets from them, then maybe it's worth it. But as you can see, you can fit a lot of storage. A lot of storage compared to other bases in this size. You can stack them against the cave like this. I'll show you how, because it's a little tricky because of the water here. This base design is for rivers, of course. The only thing you have to do is find a river that is pretty open. But anyways, let's get right into the base design so I can show you guys how to build this. So the first thing you guys want to do is find a river. The only thing is you don't want to find a river that opens up like this, where the water is all the way to the back here. You want to find the one that opens up like this. As you can see, it's a very open space like this. It doesn't have to be this open. I can even jump around in this one, so it's really nice actually. This is the ideal one. So just make sure that you can go all the way to the back and stand up. And also when you're placing the foundation, that a tool cupboard can fit like this. So when placing your foundation, what you want to do is get a regular foundation out, be inside the river, and then put it right to that back right there. So you want to make it so it just hits that back left wall, that one right there. Usually all the caves have that. And also make sure you're above the water level as much as you can whilst being able to place the tool cupboard. So some base designs you're going to have it half in the water in some caves, not base designs, my bad. but in others you can place it right on the above the water level and your tool cupboard will also fit. On this one I can, as you can see it's a little bit tight sometimes though, like right there, but mine's pretty roomy on the one I found right here. So the next thing you want to do is just add another, and then you can fit a doorway and you can wall this off. You could wall it off and put the tool cupboard on later if you don't have enough resources for one right off the bat, but what I recommend for space is to put it on just by adding a foundation out and then putting the tool cupboard there. It doesn't matter that much now because tool cupboards are a lot easier to add with walls now. They made it so the spacing difference is like nothing, but I like to have mine as close as possible, and you can only do that with a wall not being there. So you just place it right on that corner there, and you can place a wall, upgrade everything to stone like this, and you can slap on your door just like that. And how much will that cost you? You're probably wondering. It'll only cost you 1500 stone. That is less than a 1x1. Let me show you. So say I'm wanting to craft the 1x1. Let me get my stone back to 100k. So I have 100,000 stone, as you can see here, and I'm going to craft the 1x1 to show you what the price difference is. Okay, that's all the stone. And as you can see, I spent roughly 100 stone more. So this 2x1 inside of this cave is cheaper than the 1x1 out here, and is a lot safer because it's easier to add this one doorway, which is 200 stone more, than adding a whole nother segment to this 1x1. So this is already very cost effective for a starting base for a solo player even. It is a little too cramped for a clan, but if you guys are just farming out and roaming, it can work as a starter base. It's very secure. No one's going to get through. Even if they can make ammo, say you started a day late, you can already have 2 doors in here, which is very effective. Now furnaces, you're probably going to have to put one in here somewhere. Do not put it straight against this back wall. I highly advise against it. I also kind of advise against this one as well, because sometimes when you place this, depending on where your cave is, there could be a little crack here and they could gain access. On mine, it's safe too because it's a tiny crack and no one can gain access through there, but they can see sometimes. Like as you can see, I can see that, and sometimes they can gain access. So I advise you not to, but this will work if it is filled up like this. You can fit 2 comfortably, just don't stick it through the wall. So like that. Just make sure they're hugging the left side, because we want to put some large boxes here, right here, like this. You want to put it right against the wall. So you can't craft large boxes yet, you can just put small boxes all around here and just destroy them later and do the stacking. I'll show you the stacking technique right now though. So you just push the box all the way in. You can push it out a little bit if you want to. It's really up to you. I recommend only going that far out because we also do want to put a sleeping bag here. Also, if there's water in your base because of the river design, just make sure before you build it that you can fit a sleeping bag on one of the 2 foundations you have here, else you're not going to be able to get into your base very easily if you get killed. So sometimes you'll have to place the sleeping bag right there instead. But as you can see, you get another large box and you can stack them up along the wall. Even if the bottom one is destroyed, the top one is going to stay, which is very cool. So you can stack 3 to 4 large boxes. It really just depends on how low your foundation is and how high the roof is. As you can see, I can only fit 3. You might be able to fit some here. It depends on your river design, river that you got. So as you can see, I can probably fit another one there. I can fit one there if I wanted to. It really depends on what river you got though. So that's the starting part. So the next part in securing your base is going to be simply adding this other door right here like this. And already this is going to be if they use C4 2 no matter which way they go through, which is way too much for your starting stuff. So the next step of securing your base is going to be adding another regular foundation and then using the honeycombing technique. So since we want to add as many doors as possible because of this EXP update making it so we can't craft armored doors, which they really have to fix, please Facepunch, we want to make it so there's a gap here, so there's going to be, in case they go through the wall, an extra layer of protection, and also just so we can add as many doors with triangles. So you want to go to the shallower end, which is usually the left side facing the river, and what you want to do is go 2 foundations out, get rid of this one, and then get a triangle foundation off the one outside. And then you can simply build triangles all along here, all the way to the other end, like that. I also recommend adding another foundation here, and if you can add this foundation, sometimes it doesn't let you though. It just adds another layer of protection, and also you can be a little sneaky and add a doorway here, wall it off, and most of the time you can fit an extra little box here or something. So say you do get raided in the beginning stages where you only have one little door here, you could have some spare stuff here like some hatchets and stuff so you can get back right at it, because usually they'll go for the bigger loot if they are raiding you. So if you just have a little door here and everything, they're probably going to go for this 2x1 instead of this little 1x1 here. So just keep that in mind. You can keep a few hatches there just in case you do get offline raided there. So the next step is going to be upgrading all this, of course. And that would cost you another 2k stone just for the foundations, and then 10k stone more for the walls and stuff, probably even more than that. But you can do that progressively, which is really nice. I recommend just doing the outer layer first and then adding at least 1 doorway. So if you can, add a doorway here, but a lot of times you're not going to be able to. So what I like to do is to add it onto the one next to it, having a square foundation, and then doing another triangle one, 2 triangles like this. You don't have to be careful because this usually is a raid boostable thing where they can spider climb up, but there's nothing above us to be worried about, only the sky. And I don't think you have to be worried about the sky. You have to be worried about the inside right here where your loot is. So you want to add the door and start walling everything off. You only need the outer layer right now. If you do want another exit like this on this side, if you can, add this one. But if you can't, do the one right beside it like this. And I recommend doing triangles so you get right to that side. Just like that. Make sure you flip the walls so they do face outside. And then we're going to upgrade all those. And as you can see, my hemp is already growing. So it's very good for a starting base because you can hide it all right here. If you wanted right away, you could add doors. I actually recommend using double doors here though. Just be warned about that, because it might screw you up later. Like this, and now we're gonna upgrade all this. Just like that, we're down 6k stone, which is regularly what you need to start off your base. So we're doing very good right now. I do recommend you to armor some of your foundations if you can, if you want to, because it makes it a lot harder for them to get in. But you don't overly have to, because even if they do get rid of your foundation, a lot of times they're swimming and they can't get through this wall. As you can see, I am stuck and I'm not able to crouch because I am swimming. So a lot of times you don't have to be worried about them killing your foundations. If you are going to, I would recommend armoring the left side more, because sometimes they are able to walk like I am here. So I might be able to squeeze in there walking instead of swimming like regular people. And then after that, the only thing you really have to do is make sure they can't get in through here, so please make that stone. And then after that, the base is all up to you. If you want to add more doors, just simply add more doors. Just make sure you add the walls here as well and stone them up when you can, because it makes it a lot harder for them to get your loot. Make sure you honeycomb at least this side right there. And if you are scared of them going from above and skipping all these doors that you would have here, like this, say you had a ton of doors here and they're just like, no, screw that, I'm gonna go from above, right? How you're gonna stop that is quite simple. You just simply add some walls here, like this. Add another one here like this. Make sure you go on the triangles, because there is 2 that you can place. One off the square foundations, like this, and one off the triangles. So make sure you're going off the triangle one. So all you do is add all those and then slap on some roofs and upgrade it, of course. You do not have to honeycomb this because you're not really scared of them going horizontally. You're more scared of them going vertically. like this, right? So if you're scared of them going from the top down, which a lot of raiders actually might do, because they do have a clan that they can boost out, this is how you stop them. It adds another extra layer of protection. This will cost them at least 4 C4 then. And if you say you have this armored, that's 3 C4 each. So 4 plus 3 plus the other layer, which is another 3, is going to be 10 whole C4. So it's not worth it for them to go that way. So if you guys want to stack some boxes on the wall in your river base, it's pretty simple. You just push the box all the way to the back like this, and then you just stack them like this. Just be careful if the rock is sticking out quite a bit. It could make doorways harder to get into, like you have to crouch. But that's not that big of a problem because some rock bases you have to crouch into. If there is water through your foundation, like this, you just have to be careful because boxes can't be placed in the water. So how you avoid this is by sliding it this way and pushing it as close as you can. Sometimes there's a lot of water, so you get like this far, but that's okay because you just get a few more large boxes and you can place it on top of it. Just make sure you push as far back as you can. If I could get on top of this box. There we go. So as far back as you can, and then you just place the box on top of that. And then you just hatchet this one out. And then you're good to go. As you can see, it doesn't hinder me in any way. This box might. As you can see, it does. That's because the rock that's in is sticking out quite a ways, so I actually don't want to have any boxes there. I probably could just plant some hemp here instead, which is very handy because then no one will steal it from me. As you can see, I already have some growing right here, so I have a nice hemp farm right there. You can make little boxes all against the wall like this and everything, so it's really handy being in the river because you can place as many boxes in these walls as you want really. Right here I can add whatever. I can add hemp down here, I can add boxes. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of storage in these bases, and from the outside, just the bare bones basis of this, so like this without any roof access other than this one, it'll only cost you 22k stone, which is very little, and you can expand it so much more. You can add extra doorways, you can armor your door once you reach that level, and what I recommend you doing is armoring up these walls right here. So these 3 walls, which is your 2x1 entrance to it at least. As you can see, if you do these 3 walls, you'd have to do this one before you block it off though. Just keep that one in mind. It's a little triangle on the edge. But if you armor all these walls here, it makes it an extra C4 each wall. And if they go through the walls, it's an extra 2 C4 because it's double layered. If I could stand here for you guys to see, that'd be nice. There we go. So instead of 2 C4, if they're cutting right through here, say they got into your base right through here, and they're like, screw it, there's a lot of doors here. If you place all the doors, I'm just going to go right through the walls. If you have this as armored, it is double layered, so that's going to be 6 C4 instead of all these 1 C4, which is roughly the same, probably even less. But still, if you make these armored, if you can afford it already, then it's a lot. And anyways, going through here is at least another 4. So that's already 10 C4. 10 if you armored the walls. If you don't, it's going to be 8 either way for 22k stone, which is very little compared to other base designs. So just do the base design how you want. This is just a general idea on what I believe is the safest way to defend yourself as a solo player because of this EXP system right now. But if you guys liked the video, just drop a like, comment, and subscription, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Peace. I down them all.
You're all dead.
You're dead, bear.